Right guys, hope you're doing good. Thank you for joining us once again. Bit of a quiet week this week. We've got a boiler repair to do and I've done a shower screen installation, so I should see that very shortly. But before we do, I just want to say a massive thank you to Regan. They have sent me out a new end replacement lever adapter for my Regan foot pump. A few months back I had to cut the end of it off. I didn't have an attachment to get into a tight area, so I had to cut the end off and it's a bit of a nightmare to get back on. So yeah, massive thank you to Regan for sending me that out. I really do appreciate it. Also, just want to show you the other day on last week's video I forgot to show you one tool that I got, and it is this Goodyear pliers wrench. Can any of you guess what this is for? I am going to do a video on me using this, a bit of a tip. Jones, the gas man, I seen it on one of his videos and I had to get myself one. So yeah, that seems like a great little tool to have for when we need it. So yeah, let's get into it. Before we do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us over on Instagram and TikTok. Let's get into it. Right, so first job, got an Ideal Independent, and we've got, customer's got a problem with the pressure. Right, aren't these? Keeps dropping down to zero. Come before Christmas, repressurised expansion vessel. That doesn't seem to be leak. That's fine now, that's still full. So my initial thinking is there's a leak somewhere. So I've asked customers, no, there don't seem to be any leaks on the pipework. So my next process of thought is it is the heat exchanger. I've opened the cap up there. I can't see any dripping or anything like that. Usually when it is that, this goes like a brownie colour, and it's not. So what I'm going to do is earlier in the morning. So put it to 1.5 bar, just where it is there, and I've took a picture of that. Turn that valve off, turn that valve off. I'm going to leave it all there in the off position. I'm going to come back later this evening, check the pressure. If the pressure has dropped, I know fine well it is on the boiler then. If it hasn't dropped and I open them valves, I know it's on the system somewhere then. So it's a bit of a process of elimination. So I'll catch up with you guys a bit later on.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Right guys, we're back at this one. It's about 5 o'clock now. Just took the case off, checking the pressure, and it has dropped down to zero in probably 8 hours time. One thing I'm just going to do, just to double check if I can find the screwdriver, is take this off. Because this has been off and switched off for 8 hours now, it should be bone dry in here. Just look. Gotta get a torch on. Can't. It looks to bone dry, but the pressure's dropped out. Strange is that? Very, very strange. Yeah, it's we get it's bone dry in there. We'll open these valves back up. Strange. Put some pressure in and put it right up to 2 bar. That's at 2 bar now. So we'll give it a couple of minutes, 5 minutes or so, just make sure we see if we see anything here. Also, I'm going to check outside, just make sure the PRV is not passing. Don't think it is like, but I just want to double check that. Also, just one other thing to check would be if I open a hot tap, does the pressure drop? No, the pressure doesn't drop. So the plate heat exchanger is not split. So it can only be one of the two things. It's either going to be the main heat exchanger or the PRV. So I'll catch up with you in 5 minutes and we'll see what the crack is then. So just up there, just come out now. You see that there? It's dripping on the PRV. So the PRV, what's changing? Oops, slippy out here. Let's get. So thank God it's not the plate heat exchanger. I mean, very expensive for the customer. It's just the PRV. I did check the PRV early on today, but I may have made a mistake and checked it while the pressure was low. And when I did do the expansion vessel, I checked it afterwards and it didn't seem to be dripping, but it was a rainy day that day when I did it. So, but it's made a mistake basically. So yeah, it should be pretty straightforward. I think basically take the condensate trap out. There's a clip at the back and then a compression nut. They come off. I'm at the highest point of the building here, so I can just drain it off through the existing PRV. Once it's stopped, take it out, put a new one in, clip in, compression nut on. All that together should be working. But in the meantime, they can use the boiler still. That's the main thing. Yeah, I'll put it right up, pressure right up for them, so it's hopefully it lasts a little bit longer. So yeah, we all make mistakes. It's one of them things. I thought I can't I camera then. So yeah, we'll get that ordered and we'll come back tomorrow or Wednesday to do that. It might be an excuse for me to use my new head camera and get in there. You might be able to see me do it. So head mount, sorry. So hopefully I'll see you guys in a couple of days. Right, so we're back and we've got, wherever I put it, there it is, new PRV. So I'm going to try it out for the first time. Got my head mount, so I'll strap my phone to there and hopefully you should be able to see everything I'm doing inside the boiler. Whether it works, I don't know, but we'll try it out. So basically got to take the condensate trap out and then I think we can work from there. There should be enough room to get a spanner into and do a compression nut and take the clip out of the back. So let's crack on. All I'm doing here is just dropping the pressure out of the PRV, knackered anyway, so just wedge that open, drop the pressure out of there, and then probably we'll drop pressure out of that filling loop as well, just to be on the safe side. Is the angles okay? What's going on here? There we go, is that better? It's not spinning now. Right, compression nut up back. I think best bet might be that. A couple of quid, Monument, 22 mil and 15 mil nut spinner. Perfect for tight situations like that. So that's loose. To clip it back up there that I need to get out. Try and let's pliers, I don't think I might do. Clips out. Before I pull it out, I'm gonna grease on this O-ring. Always grease your new O-rings up. Makes life just a little bit easier. Right, let's see how tight you are and how wet we're going to get. Should get wet, I don't think. That's the old one out. Fine. Hopefully should go in a bit easier than it came out. Yeah, it feels in. Have to line this compression nut up now. Great, that dropped out of there. Just in case you didn't see last week's video, just got these new boxes, perfect for storing O-rings and washers and other bits and bobs. Screws, flue caps, trader valves. Yeah, probably get some more in there to be fair. It's a fishing tackle box off Amazon, so I'll put the link in the description. Fun trying to get all this to play ball now. Who bets this O-ring drops out? This washer drops out. Just like that. You see it nearly dropping out there. Right, while it's drained down, I know we said yesterday that we pressurised it before Christmas, but I'll just double check that, which I won't get on there because it's too far out. Perfect. Yep. Always, once you're doing jet your expansion vessel, get a bit of leak detection spray. Just a bit of a square on there. I don't know if you can see this angle. Just checking that there's no bubbles squirting out there, then you know it's not passing. It's all good. So, that's enough there. I can't wait to watch this footage back and see how bad the camera skills are. Right. Let's have a look. Making sure that there's no water on there. Pressure is at 1.5. to me. Right, let's take you off there. So, all done. Well, I say well done. Just got to double check that it's not leaking, not passing. That's the old one. See how black and built that up that is in there. So basically that'll have squirted off at some point, and when there's a bit of rubbish on there, just letting it pass by ever so slightly. You can even see the moisture at that side, at the bottom there. So yeah, nice easy repair. Looking forward to watching this footage back.
Right guys, so I've got a quick shower screen replacement. I've had to voice over this one because the customer was literally sat in doing work in the bedroom next door to where I was, so I didn't want to talk too much. So basically we've had to cut out the silicone going around the shower, and then we've just got to take all the screw caps off on the inside. The customer has said it has leaked in the past downstairs to the flat below, so I'm expecting, well, I was expecting at the time that there'd be no silicone behind any of the profiles. So if you've ever fit a shower screen before, you should know that this would push to one side and then lift out, but this has been fit incorrectly. So by the looks of it, they've only put the profile on both sides, just in halfway in between the profile, if that makes sense. The frame inside the profile, I'm not making sense at all here. Basically, the profile should sit on the inside of the frame, but what they've done is they've just put one lug in. I'm going to show you shortly in the video, so bear with me. I hope I don't bore you to death with this voiceover, as I can sound a bit monotone. So what I've had to do is just push to one side and take the screws out of the wall just to get it out, basically. And you'll see here that what they've done. So they've just put it halfway in instead of putting it all the way in, if that makes sense. You probably tell better from the video than me actually explaining to you. So yeah, now that's out, we'll just take them screws out and give it all a good clean out with some with a bit of CT multi-solve and Stanley knife. Right, so you see they've not siliconed any of the screw holes, and they've also not siliconed at the corner where the shower tray meets the tiles behind the profile, so that's more than definite where it was leaking through. I've been using this tool, I'll show you a second, which I got from Plumber. It's basically a Stanley knife blade in there. It's perfect for scraping silicone off, and it goes well with multi-solve. So get all your big chunks off of the tiles, give it a good spray with the silicone with the spray, and let that set in for a good 5 minutes or so. And then, well, you don't need 5 minutes, can be less, and then it just scrapes off like chewing gum. It makes life a lot easier. So we're also going to be re-siliconing the entire tray, so I've scraped it all out, and same again, just with a multi-solve, spray all the way around, and just give it a good scrape out, and just get as much silicone off as possible, basically, because that's the key to when re-siliconing, is get the old silicone off. It'll make your life just a little bit easier when it comes to putting new silicone back on. So as you can see here, the old silicone just scrapes off nice and easily. It's got that chewing gum sort of texture to it. The more you can get off, the better. If you find that once you've scraped it, there's still a bit of residue still on there, spray it again and it will eat into the silicone even further, and it usually comes off, and you can usually 9 times out of 10 get it all off. The more silicone you can get off, the better. It makes life a little bit easier when it comes to re-siliconing up. So once you've got it all scraped off, grab a bit of paper towel, give it a good wipe down. You can usually get the rest of it off with just a paper towel or a wipe. And then once we've done that, we'll get all the rest of the internal corners and where the frame was, get all that cleaned out and ready to go. So getting around to fitting the shower screen. So make sure you read the instructions because there will be some measurements in there you need to bear in mind. A bit of a top tip for you is when fitting anything like this, get all your bits and bobs out and make sure you've got everything. I also do love a shower screen that comes with a pilot drill bit, just makes life a little bit easier. So I've got the 2 profiles to fit, need to be fit so far on, it will tell you in the instructions what to do. On this sort of screen, because we're fitting between 2 walls, we'll fit the right hand screen profile first, and then we can put the frame in, move it over and drill the other side into place like so. We are using a level here to make sure our profiles are perfectly level, and yeah, we might speed this up a little bit because we'll be here all day. So with all that drilled, what we're going to do now is put a bit of silicone behind the profile. So always silicone the gap where the tray meets the tiles, and then I always silicone all the screw holes, and also I don't silicone the full profile. I just tend to go about 30 centimetres up just to stop any water creeping through. But also do make sure you do put some silicone in all the screw holes, because if it's going to get through anywhere, that's where it's going to get through. So now the profile is screwed onto the wall, I always put a little bit of silicone right in the corner just to cover yourself. So we'll put that not putting that profile in yet. What we're going to do is put the frame together. So you get your two tall pieces, your bottom runner and your top runner, and they just screw together basically. Sometimes you've got to put your glass in first, but this is just a single door, so you can put the door in afterwards. The profile then slots into the end of the frame. It will slot into its right hand side, and then we can push the frame back into place and screw it through the new screw holes. So once that's in place, what we're going to do now is make sure it's all level, make sure everything's flush, square, and then with the pilot bit that came with the shower screen, you can't really tell in this video, there's some holes that you can drill through, and then we put little grub screws in there just to to hold it in place, and it's not going to go anywhere. So now the frame's all in, we'll put the door in now. So this particular one hooks on at the bottom, and then it comes with 2 pieces that clamp together and attach to the hinge at the top. I highly recommend that you get someone to help you out doing this, because it can be a little bit fiddly. Like I experienced here, I dropped one of the screws and it disappeared off the face of the earth. So, and I didn't have a replacement, I didn't have any in the van that were the same size, so I had to improvise and I had to cut one down using my Nipex Cobalts. They're a great bit of kit for cutting screws down, and it did the job for what I needed. And yeah, got that screwed in place. So now that's all fixed, we can get the handles on, we can silicone everywhere, give it all a good clean out. Do make sure you check the instructions, because it will tell you where you need to silicone, because some screens do need you to silicone in places you wouldn't expect to silicone, but this will be fairly straightforward. It's just all the corners basically. So this is the thing I love about Multisolve. We're doing the internal corners here, re-siliconing up. People have pulled me on this before. I've asked the guys at C-Tech, you can use this for helping out smoothing new silicone. It's not going to eat away at the new silicone. So all you got to do, put your silicone on, give it a light spray over the top, and then you can use one of well, some people use the fingers, but I use forming tools. This is one from Beko, and that just scrapes out nice and neatly and gives a perfect finish 99.9% of the time, depending on the tiles. So yeah, do ask the guys at C-Tech. They will tell you the same thing as I have just told you. So jobs is all done. We've got our seals on now. We've got seal on the bottom and then the magnetic seal up that side, just to make the seal, to make it waterproof. We siliconed all the way in the inside, all the internal corners in white. I think it looks a lot fresher, a lot more cleaner. And then we've done the external corners on the profile in clear silicone. I think if we used white up there, it'd have ruined the look of the shower. So I think it looks a lot better than the original chrome shower screen. I think the customer wants to change the shower eventually, because the black does look a lot better with the tap and the border. So yeah, job done.